Hi, I'm Stephanie Laska. I lost 140 pounds and created Dirty Lazy Keto. Thanks for joining me here on the YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and enjoy the show. Well, how much weight can I expect to lose on a keto diet? People ask that all the time. So today's guest, Sheila Kaiser, is going to help us answer this question and give us some tips. But before we get started, I'm going to spin the wheel because everybody likes to win a prize on the Dirty Lazy Keto podcast. So let's see what we're going to win. Sheila's standing by. Very exciting. Oh, it's a surprise. Well, I'm going to give away one of my favorites then if it's a surprise, and it's going to be a Dirty Lazy Keto red lunch pail. Hello, how exciting is that? So give everybody a thumbs up because you want to win and you want to participate. The way you can win a prize is by listening to Sheila's wonderful interview and then typing comments and questions below. That way she knows that you care and support her. And also you'll be entered at random to win a prize. So welcome to the show, Sheila.
I'm so excited. Yes.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. So Sheila, tell us a little bit about where you're at on your Dirty Lazy Keto journey.
So I'm actually in maintenance. So
Ooh.
I reached my final goal. It was definitely, that was one of the trickiest parts, was figuring out what my final goal was. But I reached my final goal probably late March, early April.
And what month is it right now?
It is, I think, July.
Because some people listen to it differently, right? So it'll be out there in the universe. True. Yeah, yes, in the future.
So my job is all summer. So I think it's July 1st. I believe that is correct.
So how many months then did it take you, do you think, to get into maintenance?
So it took me 9. It was
9 months.
It took 9 months. It was great.
Awesome.
So,
and what was your starting weight, your current weight or size, whatever you want to share?
Yeah, so I started at 236 pounds. I was a size XXL and a size 18 when I started at the end of July. It was the biggest I'd ever been in my life. So for me, it was very large. And with what I do, it was very difficult to, accomplish my day-to-day tasks.
And how tall are you?
I am 5'9".
Okay.
So.
And when you mentioned your job, do you want to share that? You said it's hard with your day-to-day tasks.
Yeah, I work in aquatics. So I work with a bunch of teenagers and I work with the public and water safety and lifeguarding and all of that fun stuff. So even honestly, though, simple tasks like walking up the stairs to my second floor apartment, that was hard. My knees would hurt when I would get to the top. So I knew that it was time for a change.
Wow. And plus you were wearing a swimsuit all the time.
I wore, and that was,
that's all I heard when you said you were in aquatics. I was like, oh my goch, does that mean you have to wear a swimsuit in public?
I did. And I was always body. I don't know what it is. It was really about my body. It was about what I could do with my body. I always loved myself. I was always pretty okay with me. I was like, it's hot outside. I'm going to wear shorts. I don't care what my legs look like, or I got to teach a swim lesson. I'm not going to do it fully clothed. So, I think that's been a definite challenge for me is in going and buying a size small and then being like, how is this possible? I was never that big. I never really, I don't know. It was my body that basically made me feel large, was how I felt when I was trying to do day-to-day tasks versus my own brain.
Yeah. It's not always about just the way you look. It's sometimes about the way you think about yourself, right? And the things that you can do.
Yes, exactly. And also my mom has a lot of health conditions, like every acronym disease you can think of. And I really just was looking and having a conversation with her and was like, that's where I'm headed. I don't want that for myself. And I want to be a good example for my daughter.
And you have a beautiful little girl. And I'm hoping I can share your before and after photo. I printed it out in case I can't figure out how to do the screen share, but maybe I might just show this up on the screen here. And so you wanted to be an example for her as well as avoid some of the health conditions that your mom is facing now. Does that sound right?
Exactly. Because I've had to fight it my whole life. And if I could find a healthy way to do that and then encourage her, because it's just, it's genetic for us to be thicker women.
Yes. Amen to that. I know. It's not fair, right?
It's not.
Let's just put that out there. It's definitely not fair.
It can be nice. I like my shape, but maybe less of it with the same shape is great.
Same shape, just a little bit on the healthier side, right? So you feel like you can still walk up those stairs to your apartment upstairs and be out there and do all those activities with the public, like you said.
Exactly. I feel.
How old are you? I'm curious because you're so beautiful and fabulous. Everyone's looking at your cute, adorable family and you on screen. And I bet everyone wants to know.
I'm 41. I just turned 41 in June.
Happy birthday.
So I started this journey when I was 40 years old. It was about a month and a half after my birthday.
Well, happy birthday. And wow, what a gift you gave yourself.
It was incredible. Oh, so yeah, it was awesome to be able to, just decide 40 is the year. I know 40 is the year. Interviews where it's 50 is the year, 60 is the year. For me, I kind of wanted those extra 10. So it was great. And when I started this journey the way I'd always started keto, which was strict.
Oh, tell me about that.
Yeah. So when I started this journey, it was just, I know keto works for me. I'm going to do it. And I'd always gained and lost the same 20 pounds on keto. But the thing is that it's not realistic. And especially with my job, even now in maintenance, I have to be there are days where I fall off the wagon and have to get back on and, just decide that my health is more important than cheese sticks. And so, it's like, but I would just gain and lose the same weight. And then all of a sudden I'm like, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry. So I would gain and lose the same weight. And then all of a sudden I was like, this isn't working. There has to be something different. And I was actually in one of the crazy keto Facebook groups, the keto police and
the strict keto food sheriffs.
Saying
that's not keto. Pepper. What are you doing with that Diet Coke?
And I'm like, that can't be it. And so I started looking up some stuff that was like gentler, and you popped up, like your Facebook stuff popped up. And then I was like, okay. So I asked to join, and then it led me down the rabbit hole of 30 videos a day. And and then I ordered the book immediately, and I lived by this book, and people are like, what are you doing? That kind of thing. And so I just was really excited to discover a nicer, gentler way to do keto, and it still works.
It's kind of a secret, isn't it? It's people think, you have to be really strict and follow all these rules in order to lose weight. But really, it's the ironic part. You can kind of be a little bit flexible, maybe, with yourself, a little bit kinder.
Mm-hmm, exactly. You don't have to beat yourself up. I'm like you. I don't like the word cheat. I make purposeful decisions. If I'm going to eat something that's not necessarily, in this section or in that section, I'm purposeful about it, but I don't say cheat.
Yeah. Yeah. People ask me too. I don't know about you. Do they say, don't you ever have a cheat day? What do you do if you just want to go, do something crazy? And I'm like, I just eat more of the same foods. You know what I mean? I probably eat just too many low carb foods as opposed to going to the hot fudge sundae route. I don't know. What about you?
Yeah. And there have been times where, just complete transparency. I haven't had a hot fudge sundae. I think that'd be pushing it for me. But there have been days where it's everything bunk cake. They're itty bitty, and it was my birthday, and I was like, I'm okay. I will be okay with this, because my best friend has actually continued this journey. She joined this journey with me about 4 or 5 months ago, and she got to her goal weight also.
Oh, congratulations. Well, we need to get her on the show too. Exciting. Shout out to your best friend.
Shout out Mariah. So, but we're both definitely, we can, what is it? You're an abstainer versus a moderator. So so you can have a little moderate amount of the bundt cake or whatever. Yeah, I could not. Exactly. There's things that I can moderate, and then there's things that French fry is going to do me in. So yeah. I try my best to make sure that those are far, far away, because I will eat 6 pounds of them. So, but yeah, so it was just being gentle on myself and figuring out what worked and what didn't work for me, because I see it I'm sure you see my Facebook tangent on egg fast.
Well, tell me your opinions. This is your moment to shine,
Yes, okay.
Miss Sheila.
So don't
let her
do
rip
it to yourself. Eggs are delicious. They're amazing. Omelets and hard-boiled eggs and all of the cool things you can do with eggs. Why would you make them torture? And, you know, I do accidentally do IF. Like, it's not on purpose. It's just that I'm, you know, I know you've talked a lot about how you're hungry in the mornings. I'm never hungry in the mornings. It's
well, tell
coffee.
people what IF is, just in case they don't know.
Sorry. Intermittent fasting. So I accidentally usually fast until about 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Not on purpose. If I am hungry, I eat. It's not a punishment to me. It's just the way that my body likes to do things. And I found a way to be healthy while doing it.
And not like force yourself to eat something, right? You're not like, oh, I have to, or I have to do this window. I have to do this time schedule. It has to be this ketolithic schedule of fasting, right? You're not all crazy about it.
Exactly. And that was, yes. And it was like, I remember when I first started and I first joined the group, I asked, and I think Jeannie was one of the people who was like, if you're not hungry, don't eat. Cause I'm like, I'm not eating enough. But then there were days where, like, you know, cause you get so obsessed with calories for so long. And even the overall carb count, you get obsessed. And so you'd sit there and you'd be at like 1,000 calories, not thinking about the fact that probably 3 days later, you're going to be like 18. And it all just kind of, it's all balance and not making it obsessive, which is, I'm definitely an all or nothing. So that was hard for me. But I'm definitely an all or nothing kind of person. I'm definitely all or nothing for exercise. Like, I don't know.
That's your thing. You're all about the exercise.
Say what?
I said, so you're all about the exercise?
Oh, no, I don't exercise at all.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No, I haven't.
So it's more about just focusing on the food.
And I stay super active. So there's no purposeful exercise or I'll quit.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's all about how we look at exercise for Sheila. It's like a mindset about exercise.
Like if I've eaten something like pretty heavy, like that night, I'll go for a walk because I don't want to sleep on that. Right. Or work. Like I said, I mean, I probably put in like 12,000 steps a day. So I don't have to go anywhere. I have a gym membership I've never seen the inside of. So
that's super cute.
Energy to cancel it. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's for everyone because some people have different medical conditions that really do encourage exercise. But for me, it's just being more active. Like, you know, the silly thing that I do to get more steps in and to work out is work out. But one of the things I do is when I'm cleaning my house, I used to like put everything into a pile and which room it would go into. Right. Because I mean, I work 70 hours a week in the summertime. So I would put everything into one space. Well, now instead of doing that, every single time I pick something up, I have to go take it to the room it goes to.
I like that.
So then I'm just adding exercise every single time I clean because I'm just having to go those extra steps. And that really did, like, I remember I was like, I'm going to have to go. I know when you'd hit the 50 pounds and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to start working out. And you had to like set it up and do the things. I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And so I started doing the purposeful cleaning and the purposeful steps. Like even in my office, if I forget something, I just make sure I walk as far back as I can. I'll take an extra loop around the parking lot before I go back in. And I started dropping weight again and I didn't have to go to the gym. I was so excited. And that
is amazing. I love the story.
If I'm running, there's a bear somewhere. That's it.
So it's just built into your day. It's just part of your lifestyle.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that way it's not torture.
Yes. Cause it would absolutely be. And I would quit. I would feel like I was failing and I would quit.
Well, how much weight have you lost altogether, Miss Sheila?
So I believe technically, so it depends on, what day of the week is it? So
today's Friday.
No, I just ate. So it all varies during the week.
Well, approximately.
I went from 236 to between 168 and 175. So somewhere between 65 and 70 pounds.
That is fantastic. Yay!
Yeah, I know. And it was really surprising too, because it took me into a size, like I said, I was a 18 and an XXL, and it took me down to a size 4'6" and a small.
Wow. That's a huge difference. You had to buy a lot of new clothes, my friend.
Oh, Well, and the transitional clothing was funny. You know, you're sitting there hanging on to that one pair of Miss Me jeans you paid $100 for.
Exactly.
And they're just falling off. So.
And you're thinking, I don't want to throw this away. I bought a lot of, I spent money on this suit or these jeans or whatever.
Exactly.
It's a weird transition too. I think mentally, I don't know about you, but getting rid of clothes is scary too. Like in the past, when I was on like Weight Watchers as a teenager or something, getting rid of clothes, then I'd gain it back and then I'd have to go buy all those clothes again. And then it made me scared to ever do that again. So did you feel anxiety about getting rid of your larger size clothes?
Oh, absolutely. Like I hung on to my XXLs and it stinks too, because you have clothes you really love. They were always your go-to, make you feel pretty. So there were some pieces that I held on to longer than I should have, because I'm like, it's so pretty, but it doesn't fit. So it doesn't matter. And I think I was in a medium before I got rid of my XXLs.
So it's a process, right? It's not like you had to do it that second.
And strangely, what I had the hardest time letting go of was pajama pants.
Oh, pajama pants. Mm-hmm. I wonder what that was about. Were they like your comfort pants or your?
They are. Like when I'm one of those people, like the second I walk into the house, I get out of whatever wet clothing I'm in. And then I throw on like my grandpa's oversized shirts, because he's like 6'6". So I throw on his giant, oversized shirts and a pair of cozy pajama pants. But I had the hardest time. I've still got a stack in there that I'm like, but they're mediums. But what if I gain the weight back, I won't have my comfort clothes.
It's scary. It's a process. And I don't know if you have to do it all at once, It's okay to.
No, they're still sitting there.
Gently move along in the process. That's part of maintenance, don't you think?
It is. And maintenance, to me, honestly, I think maintenance is one of the hardest parts of this journey, because you work so hard to get there. Well, just trying to figure out what you can and can't do. Like, you obviously don't want to just drop DLK, but like, can you have an extra 4 ounces of Fairlife milk? Can you? You're
like, it's scary. It is, right? Yeah, it is scary at first.
Not in the losing weight section anymore, so you don't have to be quite as a deficit. So I'm not looking at 25 net grams. I'm now at like 50 to 60, and I'm fine. And I don't. And if I see myself putting on weight, I drop it back down to 30, and just And I agree with you 100% about the scale. Like the scale has been my best friend. I don't get obsessed about it. I get on the scale this morning. I think first thing this morning, I was 173, but I'm like, my period starts in like 3 days. I don't care. So, it's just a way to know if I need to make some changes. That's it. It's not anything.
It's a piece of information. It's not judgment, right? No one's like shaming you, or
it has no feelings.
Yeah. It's like, meh, 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 meh. I know we all used to think that before, but you're right. It's just a piece of information to help you, guide you in your journey. Like you said, some days you might be higher in carbs than others. And for me, it does help you think, oh, I thought I was doing fine. And then I get on the scale after a vacation or something. And then I'm like, oh, gotta, get back on track or tighten things up a little. And it's not like you went crazy. Yeah. It's just feedback. It's just feedback. But people do get really excited about that topic. They fight about it a lot.
Well, and there were definitely a couple of days, like in the beginning, when I was like, okay, because it was my biggest, for me personally, I lost weight easily. I followed, 10 to 11 pounds a month until I got to those last like 10. And I thought I was going to be done at 185. My goal was 185. I was like, yeah, that's what I thought I could maintain, because I had lost weight before and working out 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, cutting my calories down to 1,200 calories a day. And that's how I dropped the weight. So when I thought about my goal weight, I was like, that's one of the hardest topics too, is your goal weight. I think maintenance and goal weight is really hard, trying to figure out what that goal weight should be, because some man with his pantaloons back in like 1927 decided how much we should weigh as women. And it's like, figuring that out was very difficult, and getting to what that should be. And so I got to 185 and I was like, I'm not done. And so I kept losing. And as I kept losing, I was like, okay. And then I got to about 167, 168. And I was like, I'm happy here. I started to look a little gaunt. So I was like, I'm done. And so that's been my happy place, was between 169 and 175.
I like how you figured that out, because it wasn't like I I was in high school at blah, 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 proud. You know what I mean? How people do that in their brain. I like how you did more. This is sustainable. Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like you picked a weight that was sustainable. It wasn't like you had to cut calories and work out 4 hours a day. And it made you feel good about yourself and the way you looked.
Exactly. And that was exactly, and not have to work so stinking hard. It just fell off. Just eating Rebel ice cream. I mean, it just fell off. So, and I'm bad. I have a Rebel ice cream bar every single night.
You're all sneaking in.
I do.
And I'll
sit there. And when I have my PMS, like I totally sit there, eat a Rebel ice cream, have a canister of Ready Whip.
Oh yeah.
Shoot it straight into my mouth with my ice cream. Like,
I love that.
And I was able to lose weight.
Isn't that crazy
to me? No, to sit there with a canister of whipped cream. You're like, what are you? My son walks in. He's like, what are you, a sociopath? I'm like, no, it's delicious.
Well, I can tell you're a little bit of a rebel. You've got some purple in your hair. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you gotta be in this life. So, but yeah, it was definitely, can you hear me?
Yeah.
It was definitely it was definitely awesome. And like I said, those were the two hardest things for me, was just maintenance and figuring out what my goal weight should be. Cause I asked in the group, I was like, what should my goal weight be? Turns out the answer is no one knows. And only you will know.
Only you will know.
So only you will know. And you'll get to that place where you're like, I'm happy here. Like for my best friend, it was 25 to 30 pounds. And she was just completely content. Like I can maintain this forever. For me, it was, 65 to 70 pounds. And that was like, I love how I look. I can wear the clothes I want to wear. I can do the things I want to do. And so just so you guys, anybody has that question, what's goal weight?
That's a trick question, right? Well, hey, was there any, you mentioned the book, you mentioned the Facebook group. What do you think was the biggest resource that helped you in your dirty, lazy keto journey?
Your YouTube videos. So I have literally watched every single video and listened to almost every single podcast.
And before we started, may I just share that Sheila pointed out I had lipstick on my teeth in one of my videos and I owned it. I just had to get that out
anything though.
I just let it go. But thank you.
So, yes. But I mean, seriously, those videos and the podcast, because I could find almost, you cover a lot in the book, but it's not like you're not going to write the encyclopedia. It's not like A through Z, 17 episodes, but I like that I could look up almost even poop. You have an entire episode.
There's a poop episode, people. If you need a link, I'll put it below. Yeah, that's a really popular one. There's like not much out there on the internet because no one wants to talk about it.
Nobody talks about it, but y'all did. And it's a real problem. I don't care if anybody else doesn't raise their hand, but it is a real issue with keto.
Yeah, it is. No, you're right. Okay, now I'm the one getting embarrassed. You're killing me. Well, I try, and I take requests.
You and Tamara did a great job on that. It was awesome.
I will let her know. She's back to teaching now, so I'm solo on the YouTube videos, but I just feel like we shouldn't make things secretive. It's all these topics, people have questions, and I want to take away that shame and talk about these things and answer the questions people have. So it's not so mysterious. Because right now there's just a lot of experts like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. And then they don't answer the hard parts. Like, well, can I have whipped cream out of the can? Like, who's talking about that? You can, says Sheila.
Okay, well, Sheila, back up. I can. That doesn't mean it's right for you, but I can have whipped cream out of the can. I cannot have almond flour.
And you said you cannot have French fries because you'll eat them all.
And I cannot have French fries. No,
so you figured out what you are able to moderate and what you're able to abstain from. And you figured out the net carbs and how to figure out exercise. And that's why you've lost the weight. That's why you're on the show as a dirty, lazy keto superstar today.
I'm so excited. I mean, because that's been the best part. And that's one of the things I really appreciate about you, Stephanie, is that you gave all these suggestions and you put it out in videos before stating like I list these in the book because I'm not going to tell you now. Like you have to figure out what's right for you. And I appreciate that so much because even when it comes to sugars and even in our little Facebook group, if anybody sees this, do not tell someone something's not keto or it's not right for them. You don't know that. And so I use whole earth sugar. Like that's my go-to.
Wild and crazy.
Might not work for someone else. Or they might not be able to afford it because it's not inexpensive, but that's something I splurge on because it's something my coffee is very important and I can do what you do. You are a brave, brave woman with your black coffee.
Girl, it took me like years. And it was only because I was hangry. I was hungry and wanted to eat more. And I'm like, how can I get a couple more carbs in my day? I'm going to cut out the creamer because my creamer was out of control. It was like this much creamer and this much coffee, right? Like the sugar-free creamer.
Like I do with liquor.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't count that either. Woo!
Yeah.
So that's what was happening. And that's why I cut off my creamer. I was getting a little too much.
I can't do it. I can't do it yet. If I get to the point where I have to, I will, but I'm not.
Then we'll talk. That'll be our part 2 conversation.
I'll be watching that video and being like, she was right.
Dang it. Stop. You got to just do you. And that's your bottom line. It feels like, I mean, is there anything I forgot to ask you, Sheila? Maybe a last tidbit of advice, anything I didn't cover?
No, I mean, the only thing I would say is there's going to be a lot of situations in the real world where you cannot monitor and watch every single morsel that goes in your mouth because you don't have control over the food. And so just learn the tricks and the tips within those restaurants and places you go. Like when I go to Starbucks, I say a cap full of heavy cream, because if you've watched any of the thousands of videos that Stephanie's put out, it talks about heavy cream and how crazy they go with it. So I say a cap full, and they literally fill up a cap and dump
That's smart. I never thought of that. So that
I can have my sugar-free, my venti sugar-free vanilla, no classic, cap full of heavy cream, light ice, iced coffee every single morning.
Boom.
And still lose weight.
And that was very specific, very impressive from the coffee lover.
It's actually a Trenta. It's actually a Trenta. When they came out with those cups, I was so excited.
Okay. I have no idea what any of that means, but I'm going to trust you. When I go to Starbucks, I'm like, can I have the big one or the medium one? And they're like, oh no, this is embarrassing.
This is the extra big one.
Oh, the extra big. Yeah. My husband knows all that stuff because he does the research for like the fast food guide, the Dirty Lazy Keto fast food guide. So he had to learn it all because neither of us were really big on the coffee drinks, but now we know. He schools me.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. So he and I could chat coffee someday because it's the best product in the entire planet.
That is an excellent tip. So thank you for that. And thank you so much for coming on the show today, Sheila. You were amazing.
I'm so excited.
And beautiful. And just, I feel like you get it. You're just a shiny example of how Dirty Lazy Keto can help you change your life. And not just about weight loss, but about taking charge and feeling healthy and being a good role model for your daughter, facing those issues with your mom, incorporating exercise, the whipped cream, the coffee. It's like, I feel like I have to give you a gold star. Stephanie with the ting-a-linging, the bells. See, I know I used to be.
I get all the props. I'm like, this.
You get all the props today. Yeah, there you go. And a clap, a big clap.
Yes. We bought one of those just because of you. My daughter had us buy one at the dollar store.
Right on. I got a couple.
She said Stephanie uses it.
Stephanie uses it. I got a lot. Shout out to your daughter.
Oh, wow.
Extra claps just for her.
That's awesome. I will definitely let her know.
Well, thank you so much again for coming on the show, and we will chat soon. So say goodbye.
Awesome.
All right. Take care, my friend. Bye, Sheila.